So hope you can see me, Joseph, and hear me. Let me know how my video and sound are, and we're going to be swinging around here. Once hopefully a few people are watching. Please write a chat if you're up here and joining in, and I'll run back over there to the computer real quick and check. So we got Uchel joined in. So like I say, I'm gonna wait a few minutes until people come in, and it's starting to snow again outside. Just lovely. They said we're gonna get a bunch of rain, but we're getting a little spit and snow. We have about 2 feet on the ground now. So we got Ray. Is it Ray or Roy Reynolds? I think. So we got Roy Reynolds, Tom. How you doing, Tom? Bill. How you doing, Bill? And Craig. Craig's there. I have to run back over there and check. Like I said, I'm going to wait till a little bit. Anyway, here you guys, I got one of my sweatshirts on. Nice Christmas colored sweatshirt. Actually, pretty nice. Got my logo on the front and logo on the back. This is what you need in the winter in the shop. This is a Christmas sweatshirt, nice and bright green. Nice and comfy this way. It was 22 degrees outside this morning. So it was pretty cool. It's actually warmed up to 32 now. So how's everybody doing? I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. We had our neighbors came over for dinner, and my son was here, and me and my wife, just the 5 of us, and but we had a fun time. So this is for Tom Eason there. Tom, my neighbors from down the street, they're longtime friends for 40-something years. Their son lives in Tennessee. He lives about 19 miles from you, Tom. He works for a boat company back there. So yeah, and they're going out there Monday, I think. Monday they're flying out to see him. But they just lives just down the road from you. I'm gonna go back to the computer real quick. I'll be right back. Oops. Okay. So 72 in Nebraska. Man, that's something. Anyway, I'm gonna swing the camera around, and we're gonna go through my grandfather's toolbox here. So let me do that, and we'll be good to go. This live thing, it's a little sketchy, I tell you. How you doing there, James Jones up in Montana? So I hope everybody could see. You should have a picture of both two angles of the toolbox. I mean, it's not a real big toolbox. Like I said before, it's 16.5 by 8.5 by 12 3/4. It's oak, quarter sawn oak actually. And like I said, I don't know who made the box. It has all the nice little metal corners, top and bottom, and the pieces here that keep the lid, close. You help the lid close straight. You can't quite see that, can you? I can adjust this camera a little bit. Yeah, these little deals on the end here, this help, align the lid, keep it closing straight. Like I said, it's all quarter sawn oak. It's pretty well made, actually. I mean, really very well made. It lasted all these years. I know it's pre-World War II. My grandfather had this box. He was a machinist, and he had this box for a very, very long time. And he worked at Mare Island as a machinist during the war. Mare Island was a submarine base. They built submarines there. They repaired them, all that stuff in Vallejo, California. Kind of a cool spot. It's an island, and they had that whole island, and they launched them into the channel, the Napa River channel. I think it's Napa River. Yeah. So let me we'll have to change cameras a little bit here so you can see a little better. Yeah, that's pretty good. So what do we got here? We got I have a few things. So that has a lot of tools from my father and my grandfather. My father also was a machinist, and at least, well, he made it through the apprenticeship program and stuff. And then the Korean War came, and he went off into the Army and ended up as a sergeant in the Army, and was in Korea and all that. So. But there's tools in here from him. There's tools from my grandfather in here, and there's even some tools that I'm sure I know there's a few tools that I probably put in here. I've got a little one of these little tags from Ox Tool, the Tom Lipton there, and I got a little tag from Adam Booth, A-Bomb 79, and one of my little tags. Oh no, this is my What's in the Box tag. When I made some tools for What's in Your Box for Keith Fenner's giveaway. And that was punches in 2015. I engraved, everybody participated on helping me make the punches and all that. Got a little brass tag with, commemorating that they worked on the punches. So that was mine. We have some old here. This is old Starrett drill and decimal chart. Right here, it's a small chart, but it's Starrett. World's greatest tool makers. Now, you guys, I can't see the comments from over here. The comments over at the computer, so I'll go over there and check them in a few minutes, see if there's any questions. This one's a Lufkin chart. You guys see that? This is all number drills, and then another decimal fraction chart and letter drills down here. This one's actually really, really good shape. Now these have been in there. I remember these being in here when I was a kid. I mean, when I was like 8 years old, I remember this stuff. And so these are all from my father and my grandfather. Here's another one. Lufkin tools. This one's a dial one, right? This one's kind of tough shape. You can carry that in your pocket, and you had your tap drills, TPI, and tap drill size. Here, it's the size of the tap, and you could just go there and look it up. So there's 1" 8, and you need a 7/8 drill. And then around here we have a few other things, decimal equivalent for all the fractions, and then you can turn it there and you read the decimal equivalent. And it tells you that what national course means, or NF and NC, national fine. And on the back is some more charts, very hard to read. Screw threads and tap drill sizes back here. Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to make out. I might need a magnifying glass to make that stuff out. So speaking of that, here's a magnifying glass from my grandfather, Merle Charles Richard, and it's pretty slick. It looks shop made, and all brass, nice big magnifier, nice aluminum case that you just flip up and you put in your pocket. Need something rugged, you know. And let's see, I could probably read that stuff. So let's see here, we got, so this side is a national course, national fine, and pipe thread information. Yeah, tap drill sizes, thread per, mostly it's about tap drill, mostly about tap drill sizes and such. Here's another one. So this one really looks very well used, right? And this is from Derek's Gauge Dial, it's called, down from Indianapolis. And it's pretty pricey at the time, 50 cents, it says on there, 50 cents. But it also has tap drills, you know, you can turn it, and then your decimal equivalency also here. And then up here, these are all little thumb dials. And this one is about, let's see, length of pin, taper pins. This one's taper pins. This one's distance across flats. Whether you have a 4-sided or 6-sided object, or and such. So that's interesting. Keyway, Woodruff key information here. Size of the wood key, the little thumb dials you spin. And threads per inch and double depth of thread. Good information if you're cutting threads on the leg, right? Then on the back side, there's even more information. Boy. So we have national course, tap drill sizes and such. Pipe drill sizes, and national fine. So, and their charts. And you just, like I said, the same thumbnail. Well, this one here is, what's this one? This is decimal equivalence here. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's well used, that one. We got some stuff here. We got a Risto guide. Resisto guide. So you dial the colors in of your resistors there, and it'll tell you the values. Electric supply company in Oakland, California. Here we go, and ohms and mega ohms are standard resistors, and how to read the significant additions and tolerance, and to how to read a resistor. My grandfather was also a ham radio operator, and he was really into it, and that's actually that early electronics field. That's where he ended up at Lawrence Livermore Labs, or Livermore Labs in, might not be Lawrence then, but Livermore Labs in Livermore, California, working in electronics and communications. He was really into it. This is a Grainy wheel speed and safety indicator. So you pull on the chart, and the corner's broken, but it gives you revolutions per minute, surface feet per minute, so you can just quickly know if you're, you know, how fast you're turning, if you're, and what kind of wheels, and classifications and stuff, organic bonds, vitrified bonds, silicate bonds. Now I'm sure, you know, a lot of that sure changed today, but some of this is probably still accurate. This Carborundum company, Niagara Falls. So it's kind of cool having a little slide chart. Look at that, what's on there. These are kind of handy little deals. You know, now you got the internet, but it's pretty handy. I'll set those down. Okay, so in the top of the box here we have a few things. Like this is an LS Starrett caliper. Now a lot of these tools have my grandfather's and father's initials are on them. So a large caliper. This one here, little square. I think I found that the pointer, the scribe for that. This has my father's initials actually in it, EMR, and it's Starrett, the Starrett one. Kind of gummy a little bit. I don't use this very often, but I should clean that a little bit. Another square. Now this one is not. This is a good old Pratt, Greenfield, Mass. It has my grandfather's initials or name engraved in it. Good old Pratt, and he has them on there. You know, back then everyone put their names on. Things walked away a lot. So here's the rest. So I have all the parts to this set here. The center finder and the protractor. Now this is not the right rule for it. You take that rule normally. I use it. I like using this with a little short rule, and no name brand rule, but it fits and kind of handy, you know, measuring stuff. What else we got here? So we got some V blocks in here. Yeah. I don't know which camera I should use, but you can see the initials in the end there. This is my dad's initials, all machined. He probably made these when he was an apprentice. All machine turned and such. I don't think they're hardened really. There's some marks in there that from some clamping something that was threaded or something. So they're probably not hardened, but I use them. I still use them. Especially in the milling vise to hold stuff. They're not too big. Here's another set I think my dad made, yeah. Because oh no, my grandfather made these. His initials are in these. All machine turned. Nice little ones. These are great in the milling machine vise. Another set. I don't know if they bought these or made them, but they probably made it because they're not hardened. You can see the marks from knurling there. But they have a long groove on the bottom and a cross groove on top. Come in handy. Like I said, I use all these in milling machine vise all the time. And there's some hardened, parallels in those ones there, little thin ones. And some other hardened blocks. There's a couple matched pairs in here of things like, these ones here. I know these are a pair right here, 1/4 inch thick and about a half inch wide. Nice ones there. And my dad made those as his initials in the end. And there's another set. Most of these are all made by my dad or my grandfather. Another set right here. Initials in them. Another one. Yeah. So some of them are just single blocks. They're not parallels. So it's kind of nice having different ones here. Hardened and ground. I probably should check them, but I use them just as they are. Straight edges in here. My dad made that one. There's probably all these apprentice projects you have to do, a nice straight edge. It comes in handy. And I don't know why that one's, it's been ground like this, but for olden stuff, or I don't know why. Probably to clamp stuff up. And this one, I don't know what this is for, but it's all been machine turned. Probably to hold an indicator maybe on a pipe, something round, that sort of thing. This little hammerhead's in here, a little peen straight peen hammerhead, and I should put a handle on it. I really should. It's really nice. I've been used a little bit, but it's almost like brand new. I should put it. There's no marks on it. One of them might have made it even. but I probably should put a handle on that. Oh, I got some, and then there's some, you know, chuck wedges. You know, to get a chuck off. Steel wedge. That's a snug that I made. It's sitting in here. I used it on the little Logan lathe. Actually, they the rod mount. Then you put an indicator for a stop, and it works pretty nice actually. Little double big snug. And then this is I made this. This is a secret tool. Can't show this to anybody, right? But what's that inside there? And this is to hold. I made this to hold a large dovetail cutter by the head. I can put it in there and then put this in the lathe and clamps it nice and tight and actually very square and true. And I can turn or clean up. I think I did this so I could clean up a few screwed up ones that had engravings on them that was wrong or something. I took the time to make this. I figured it'd be handy to have. I've used it a couple times, not too much, but it works. Okay, I'm gonna run and check the comments real quick. Okay, I'm back. I think I have cups up on there. I don't know if I have this style cup. I had to put a different logo on one. And supposedly it should be one that says support the mixer on there. I don't have to check on that, so pick up a cup. So pull this out. So in the front here, the thumb pull is missing. The screw holes are there, so I'm going to make a nice little brass thumb pull, I think, to go in there. That's kind of nice. Look, it has these little brass pins or tacks here for sliding into the wood, you know, on the wood, so it doesn't wear on the wood. Pretty cool. It slips underneath. Here in this drawer we have, you know, calipers, hermaphrodite calipers, and you know, dividers. I really like these kind here. This is a very old Starrett here, but they have the fine adjust on them. I really like these, using these. That was my grandfather's. He has his name engraved in there. Yeah. But it's Starrett. Not all these are Starrett, I know that. So this was my grandfather's also. Starrett. So, you know, even back then, right? This is my dad's, this one. His initials, EMR. His name was Eugene Merle. Starrett, though. You can tell by how they did their logos and stuff, the age, and you know, how much older they are. This is Starrett. Really old. That was my dad's. This one here, my dad's. Actually, it has my grandfather's name and then my dad's stamped on it too. So caliper with the fine adjust. This is an inside caliper actually, the way that knob works. Even though you could use it for both, but this was an inside one, like the other one's an outside one. This was my grandfather's. Now this one's a Goodell Pratt. Goodell Pratt. I'm terrible at the English language. And even tiny ones. The grandfather, Starrett. Oh, look at this. Even small ones here. Inside, outside, right? Starrett. That was my father's. And these are little funky ones. This one's like a shop made one. Actually, it says WRD on it. I don't know where that came from. Somebody, probably shop made though, the way that is, little set of dividers. That's a pretty junky set of dividers there, but they could be cleaned up, I guess. I don't know, just junky ones. The inside. Now this one has, this one's a stare, but this one has the quick release. You know where this here opens up, it can slide, and then you push against it, and it has a little cone and pulls it tight. I like these too. These are nice because they're nice and fast, and you can just get them adjusted real quick and then fine tune it. I don't know, that almost looks like a fish hook. I have no idea what that's for. Pilling and Sons. Like to hold something, you can put something, a hole in there and lock it so it stays closed. Oh boy, that's an old set of little dividers. Oh boy, all one piece. Look at that, spring steel. I should clean those up. We can restore those. You can send them to Scout Crafter. He can restore it. I'm gonna have to probably straighten all this out after later. Here we got another drawer. Now, these drawers don't have metal on the bottom. Some boxes have metal on the bottom. These ones don't. In here we have center drills, extra knobs for the drawers. Little extra knobs. Now my dad refinished this. I don't remember when at all. But when I was a kid, he you know, after he got it back from his father and stuff, when he passed away, maybe around that time, and he kind of cleaned it up. He just cleaned it and put some finish on it. It actually looks like there was a hasp, four holes here. Probably had a locking hasp on here at one time. Here's a 1-inch standard. I use this all the time. Nice little old 1-inch standard. You know, to check micrometers and stuff with. In the original box, it's a good old Pratt 1-inch standard. This standard. Thread gauge. 3/8 24. Go no go gauge. I remember I made this cover for this one to protect this. This is a gauge. This is like a 5/8 gauge. The go gauge, a 5/8 18. So pitch diameter 0.5889, and I made a little cover for it. And this fits really nice. So I made this so that I could use this as a gauge. Now, I wouldn't use it a lot, it's made out of aluminum, but there was something I was doing. I wanted to make sure I had real good, accurate threads. So I was using that as a gauge. Oh, here's a little mini Morse taper center. That's only like 2 inches long. I have no idea what taper that is, what it goes to. Been in there since I was a kid, these things. All this stuff. A little magnifier. Kodak. Here's one. Another one of these. Ortho, fertilizers. Look at the Kodak case and everything. My dad probably put this in there. This is well, this is basically a standard. This is a precision ground for a 1-inch length, and I want to say it was like 3/4 diameter. Used as like a standard. I don't know what's in here. Toledo dies. 4 little chasers. Goes in a little die stock or something, right? In the original box. Toledo pipe threading. What are they? Number 1/4 inch dies. Number 00, double lot. So I don't know what thread that is on there, but it says 1/4. So maybe it's 1/4 inch pipe. I don't know. These are kind of cool. These are really old. These are like made of Bakelite, and they have a little you know, like a pin vise, like clamping mechanism on the end here. It turns, right? Now, one of them has, not this one. This one has like a shim in it. Now each one of those is different thicknesses, very, you know, very, very thin. I probably should pull a mic out and measure, but they're very thin. And you can put this in here. You open this up and slip it in the slot and clamp that, and then you can use that as a feeler gauge, right? And then this one's a little different. This one, it has the same kind of setup on the end of the slots and the hole, very tiny. But this one has, I'm gonna find one. There's a bunch of them in here, and I'm gonna grab one. Now they're not all the same size though. I've measured these before. Anyway, these on the end, you will not be able to see this, but on the end, it's a ball end. You know, and the pin tapers, and there's a tiny little ball, and you put this in there, just like that, and you can use that ball for really small holes. Now, they worked on a lot of, I know my father and my grandfather, they worked on a lot of engines, a lot of diesel engines from the diesel submarines. And so they worked on injectors and things like that. And so the holes for the injectors are very, very tiny. So I'm sure that what he used these for was to probably check injector holes. So the only you know, thing I could probably think of is that what they worked on, and they worked on a lot of Fairbanks Morse engines and stuff. And that would be a perfect little thing to be able to quickly measure, you know, go no go type setup. The holes in injectors, which are very, very small. So this is, and you know, for some clearances and stuff. But these are kind of neat. I've never seen anything like these before. That you can just carry these in your pocket. You know, pretty nice. They're very, very nicely made, actually. Kind of cool. Okay, and this is an abrasive stick, carborundum type stick. It's pretty, kind of like Kratex, but it's a lot harder than that. And here we got some measuring tools, some thickness gauges. My dad's has initials in them. This is a Leaner B. Hansen Tools, Worcester, Mass. Not Worcester. That's how we say it out here, Worcester. It's Worcester. I learned that from working with many people from Massachusetts. Worcester. Einar, E-I-N-A-R, B. Hansen. These are roll-on feeler gauges. Setting valves on engines. Let me tell you, long ones are very handy. This one's a set of Starrett ones. This is my grandfather's ones, and these were probably also Einar. You know. And we got some. This is nice. These are nice. Well, these are both similar, if not the same. This one was my grandfather's one. But these are nice. If you've ever seen one of these are Starrett. These are radius gauges in your pocket, and you know, you got inside corner and outside corner. For the outside corners and inside corner radiuses, the little radius gauge. These are 178As, but then there's my dad's initials on that side. This side had my grandfather's, and this is actually this is another set of radius gauges. Here, see, well this one's a little different. See now the way this one's made. See how it has the two radiuses on this end. An outside and an inside. This one's made different. See, this is a 272A, and then this one's built to have the radius. Let's see here, I'll turn it so you can see the radius is here and here, right? So both sides. Oh, see, this one's made a little different. This is a metric, I bet. Metric, this metric screw pitch gauge. I think I put that one in here. And some more, you know, feeler gauges. Who makes this one? This is Dunlap. Makes this set. This is a pretty nice set, really. I love this how it's closed like this, and it keeps everything really nice. You gotta remember, guys. Back then, people carried things in their pockets a lot. You know, they throw their tools in their pockets, and you wear coveralls most of the time. And you go down to work on something, and me working on ships, I did the same thing. I carried things in my pocket all the time, and it was never without a pair of crescent wrench or channel locks or a flashlight, you know, in my pocket. This is an old micrometer, 0 to 1 Starrett, my grandfather's one. You know, it doesn't even have a model number on it, believe it or not. Back then, they didn't even put model numbers on it. But it still works to this day. I've used it many times. They used to also, this is one thing, this is another little trick. They used to cut rulers off all the time too. So they had short rulers in their pockets so they can reach in tight places. This one has my grandfather's initials, 2-inch ruler. You know, it was, well, there's 3 and 4. So they had a small scale they could use for very tight places. This one here. Now this one was cut kind of neat because they put it from 1 full inch in the middle of it. It's 2 inches long, but you know, they take a ruler and chop it. This was a Sawyer Tool Manufacturing Company. That one. And then these here, you know, this is one of those you know, clamps you clamp your ruler on, clamp it onto your scale or your ruler as a like a fence or a stop. You know, there. Oh, this is a newer. I put this in here, a metric Starrett rule. But you can just, you know, you clamp it on there. I don't know if people have seen these. Mr. Pete, I know she's showing one of those. That's that has a number 299 on there. Comes in handy for some jobs if you're, you know, if you don't want to have a big square with you, or if you're always measuring something. Use as a depth gauge, all sorts of stuff. Handy little tool to have. Oh, couple. These are Starrett scribes, you know. And center punch, Starrett, center punch, telescopic gauge, little one. There's another micrometer around too. I have a 0 to 1 that has a clutch on it. I have that in my other box. What we got here? All sorts of little stuff, right? Here's a cool set of tweezers. When I was a kid, we used to play with these all the time. I think they're either bone or they're ivory, maybe. Probably ivory and brass. Little tweezers. Get those metal slivers out. You know, there's some punches, some dental tools, screwdriver, little hammer. This is what's on there? That's micarta. Piece of micarta and a little plastic resin hammer. You know, if you do that little tappy adjust things. Now, like I said, he was into the electronic field and stuff, so there's some, you know, electronics working tools here. You know, this is a soldering aid, yeah, and it's the plastic type screwdrivers and little wrenches to get those little nuts, things like that. Here we go. Here's a scalpel, a scalpel blade. Tom Lipton loves to use the scalpels. Pretty sharp still. Was it maybe I can't. Gillette. It was a Gillette blade for, you know, shaving. A little tiny pin vise. I bet it's Starrett. Yep, Starrett. There's just all sorts of punches and a little spring center in here, shop made, I'm sure. A lot of punches, mostly punches and dental tools for picking things. This is what I was looking for. There's the dry. I think that goes in that little square. What? What do I do with that little? Oh, there. Jeez, right in front of me. I think that goes in there. Oh no, it doesn't fit that one. It's too big. This one's missing too, but maybe it goes in here. It probably goes in there, and the little piece that goes to hold it tight is missing. That's why it's out of there. That goes in there. Amazing, I haven't lost it. So yeah, so that's kind of the general layout here. Nice little bench block, hardened ground. Little V grooves in it, little bench block. That's only like 1.5 inches across. A little old tape measure. Now there's a tape measure for Scout Crafter right there. Boy, this has been in there since I was a kid. We used to play with it, and it still works. I should see about cleaning it up. I'm afraid to take the markings off. Oh, it has my dad's initials in it, or my dad's name in it, actually. E. Richard. Clean that up. Anyway, that's what's kind of in there. A bunch of more stuff. This drawer, it doesn't have too much probably interesting stuff, but has a Starrett. Now this is a Starrett. I don't know how many you've seen one of these. Is a tachometer, basically. And has the little bumps to, you can feel it going around, and you count them, and it still works. It has a sharp point on it. I don't know what the number is on it, but it's Starrett. Doesn't have a number. So one of the more original ones. And that's a modern magnet, some modern pliers. I think my dad put those in there. There's an old dentist mirror. Now this dentist mirror my dad had, and it's concave, so it magnifies. So it's kind of cool. So when you look into something, it magnifies it and helps you see what it is. It's actually in pretty good shape still. And some old ignition wrenches. I put a little notebook and some Starrett charts in there. Another little set of screwdrivers. My dad threw some of that, all those pliers and wrenches in there. These were a set of old little screwdrivers from my grandfather. He had a whole set, different colors, yellow, blue, green. I don't know what happened to all of them, but probably got broken. The tips come out. Working on the tiny stuff. This drawer here, we got those are extra scribe points. I put those in there. I put that metric Starrett rule in there. I put this one in there. This is a Starrett, imperial rule. Here's a taper gauge. I put this in there. Brown and sharp. Well, this is Starrett, but it's in a brown and sharp plastic holder. For measuring gaps. That's pretty handy, actually. So this one's here. See, this is a brown and sharp rule here. I like their numbers, nice engraving. Fairly old, and some of the corners are a little rounded and stuff. This one is my grandfather's, Miller's Falls Company. M. Richard. MCR, my grandfather's again. This one's a good old Pratt one here. Now, Scout Crafter. You guys should check out Scout Crafter. Great channel. John did a whole thing on tape measures and rulers, and he showed a bunch of 6-inch scales, and one of them had engraved, just like these are, M. Richard on it as a hook rule. I bet you it was my grandfather's. I don't know where he got it or how he got it, but I bet it was. That's a, what's that? I think that's for, I don't know what that is. It's Stanley. Yeah. I don't know where that comes from. Another metric rule. Gosh, I don't know what anybody's thinking here. Metric. Who knows? Cheapo brand. Another good rule. That's, I keep some of my spare stuff in here, so this is no stare at rule. These ones are old. These are wire gauge. This one's music. This one's American standard wire gauge, and this one's music wire gauge. This one's brown and sharp. This one's Starrett. You guys have seen those. Everybody's seen this stuff before. That's stainless Starrett, Caliper. I used to like to carry these on a ship. They never rusted. Little depth gauge, Starrett one. You know, little pocket ones. I think there's a Starrett rule here. This one. No, I thought it was, but it's not. Those can stay there. Old wire gauge or drill gauge made by PEC, Products Engineering Company. Number drill gauge. Oh. Scout Crafter like this. This one's a Stanley one actually, but it's been in there forever. So I remember playing with these things when I was kids. Another ruler, fold out ones. This one's a Lufkin Ruler. 2 feet. This is kind of a really nice knife, but what this knife is now, this was made in Japan. I think my dad might have brought that back from where you think Korea, but it's very sharp. In Japan, they like using knives as marking for scribes to mark, especially when you're doing your woodworking. This side's flat. Actually, it's slightly hollow ground and very, very sharp edge. And make a nice scribing mark knife. Little hard Arkansas stone in there, tapered one. These are great. I like these kind of stones for doing lathe tools and sharpening this shape. Very handy because it has a radius and everything. Oh, little tiny combo square head. I don't know if I have a ruler for that. Stanley level that clamps onto you can clamp it onto something, you know, like a ruler. You can clamp it on and use it as a level. Those are really old. I've been in here forever. And what we got? This is really nice. This is a 12-inch hook rule, you know, and it is brown and sharp. I should clean that up a little bit and use it. That's pretty nice. Nice little hook rule. And we got some scribers in here, old scribers. You know, actually they're Starrett. This one's really worn. Starrett, I think. Oh no, this one's Product Engineering, the same people as the drill gauge, this one. Okay. Last drawer. We have another hard Arkansas flatstone in a little box. These are all Norton abrasives. Here we have a bore gauge. If I get it open. This was my grandfather's, this one. And, 2-inch to 12-inch. Just change the anvil right here. Inside micrometer or bore gauge. It's not really a bore gauge, but inside micrometer. But yeah, we'll hold that in there and micrometer head. handy to have for larger holes. Like I said, this is 2 inch, and this one, it even has the half-inch spacer, so you can get, because this here only goes a half an inch, right? Yeah, this only goes a half an inch travel, so you need that if you want to get the full range on the anvils, because these are, each one's a 1 inch range. This one's 3 to 4, that one's 2 to 3. You know, so you need that anvil to get that full range. A lot of this is a very missing part a lot of times in kits. Is this here? You'll see the rest, but you won't have that. So anyway, and then in here, what else we got? We got a few other things. Oh, that's a thickness gauge. Spare one I threw in there. Stare at it. But, nice bit of tweezers, long tweezers, picking up all those little things you drop. And these rods, I know, there's a couple other rods in here for, surface gauge, to mount indicators, short ones for mounting a dial indicators and stuff, and dial indicator kit rods, or surface gauge. And these rods, this one, these three, I know they go in, they might be, I have not tried them, I should try them, I probably did in the past. I'll bet you they go in here. Yeah, so somebody made these to expand the range of your indicator head here for bigger bores. So my father or my grandfather made them so they could expand the range of this. That's what they're for. Yeah, because this is 11 to 12 rod. So yeah, see, so these rods. There you go. So this is 11 to 12, and each one's an inch longer. So 12 to 13, 13 to 14, 14 to 15, right there. That's what those are for. So you can do that if you have one like this or something. This is a Starrett one actually. So if you have one of these, you make your own rods. There, look at that. Live. Fumbled it all around. Fumbled it up. Live. That's what I do. I drop stuff. I don't know about the rest of you guys. But, yeah. I drop stuff all the time. I'm terrible. On the ships, it wasn't until the later years is that they made us wear hard hats. Some safety guys, said, "Oh, you need to wear hard hats, right?" So even though on ships we were not subjected to, and we didn't come under OSHA, so we didn't have to follow OSHA safety rules or anything like that. And anyway, so they came along, I don't know, maybe it was in the 80s sometime, late 80s, and they made us wear hard hats. What a nightmare that was on the ship, but you ended up hitting your head more with a hard hat on. Let's see, it's going to go there, goes there, for now. We're going to close that box up. But in the ship, you had open levels and open gratings, and so if you're working above somebody, man, you always had to make sure there's somebody below you. They were not going to get hit if you dropped something, especially a wrench and stuff. And so I always made sure, because I always drop stuff. And you always carry. You only needed 2 or 3 bolts for something. You carry 5. You're going to drop 1 or 2 nuts or whatever, and you're not going to want to go look for it, or you're not going to find it anyway. So it was always that stuff was always a big challenge. Let's see if I can get this working right. There we go. So, yeah, so the hard hats came along, and you know, and then you're dropping them on hitting people in the head because you didn't care about dropping stuff so much. So, but those were kind of a pain. So there's the toolbox. I'm gonna run over there and look at the comments, and let's see. I'll take a camera over there and stuff real quick, and maybe I can answer any questions or stuff, you guys. Let's see. Well, I have to. I don't know why the chat thing should be working on the screen there, and it's not. Oh, no, there it is. There's the chat. These should be coming up and stuff. Thank you, Yuchel. Thank you, Joe. You know, thank you everybody for watching. Vernon. Oh, hey, Vernon, how you doing? And thanks, Tom and stuff. Francisco, oh wow. Eric, you can start now. You're here. I just finished, Eric. You're gonna have to watch it later. Hey, I got a question for you, Eric. Eric Richards there. Eric, I'm looking for a chunk of steel. I really don't. I'd like some kind of steel, an inch thick and 6 inches in diameter. I need a chunk, and I was wondering if you had anything in your container there. So I was gonna send you an email, but I see you're there. Mutual. Are that you're asking about the finish on the blocks here? Jeweled, yeah, jeweled, machine turned. A lot of people call it machine turning. Jeweled, yeah. You know, they sat there with a, and there's so many ways to do it. The dowel with some abrasive and sandpaper on the end. There's sticks there's like a Cratex type of stick that you could buy to do that. There's all sorts of stuff. A lot of ways to do it. Hey, Mark Daniels, how you doing, Mark? I already said hi to Craig. Let's see, Old Iron Machine Works. I just watched your video this morning. John McDonald, how you doing, John? And of course, I already said hi to Bill Vega. Yeah, that was a magnifying lens, Bill. James Jones. And Joseph, I said hi to Joseph. Yeah, you guys, like I said, we got a whole pile of snow. I did some plowing. That's a pile of snow. I did some plowing. Good turkey day. Yeah, we had a good turkey day. It was just me and my wife, like I said before, and my neighbors, my two neighbors from down the street, and my son. He came over, and yeah, it was just 5 of us. We had a little dinner party thing, and it was good. It was good. Like I was telling Tom, my neighbors had their son. They live 19 miles from where Tom lives. Oh, Skip Tracer. Hey, how you doing, Jim? Yeah. So other than that, hey, you guys, check out my sweatshirts. These I bought one of them, and they're pretty nice. They're not super heavyweight. They're not. And so I can, you know, like wear this in the shop and everything. And this is my Christmas one, you guys. That's why you know, you can get them in different colors and stuff. So, you know, choose the color you want, but help support the channel. That's all. I just, you know, people always asking me about this sort of thing, and I tell you, you know, there's so much to do. I'm hardly having time to get to my projects. I actually got 2 little projects done yesterday. I didn't film them, no. But it sure is a lot of work, this YouTube thing. This is more than I intended, that's for sure. I had no idea, you know, that the amount of work this is really. So I made this a little bit a few weeks back, but this little spider deal, and this is so. I don't know if you saw the videos on the Toyota steering rack thing. Well, we're selling those. Between me and my son, we're modifying them and actually selling them. And he's actually doing some installs on them. So if you guys are interested in that sort of thing, they actually work out real well. It's putting a Tundra rack in a a Generation 2 Toyota Tacoma. And but this, I use this now. I put this over the shaft so I can run the shaft and get it nice and perfectly centered. It's a spider. It goes on the shaft, on the rack rod, and then I put the steady rest. So the steady rest rides on this. It gives me a little more options, a little better way to do it because of the rack thing. The rack gear is cut in there, and it gives me a little bit better way to do all that. And so I run the steady rest on this piece instead of on the rack. And we end up making we have special tools now. This is just one of them. We have a couple others for seal installation because we put an entire new seal kit in them because you got to take it apart, and so we have special seal install tools. And, I tell you, a lot of work, but they do work, and a few guys now have bought them actually. So all helps, a little bit here and there helps support the channel. I have my gears now for the cross feed shaft. So this is the cross feed shaft I'm going to make for that 5900 series Clausing lathe. See, this is actually two pieces. I'm just going to make this piece here, and then the gear goes right here, right? Well, this gear here is completely severed. It's broken all the way, and all splayed out on the end, as you can see here. It's cracked all the way through. I have a new nut for it, and I'll make this part. This is razor sharp. These threads are completely gone. And then I was able to get it. I got a new gear for it now. I have to bore it out, and it's longer than this gear, so I'll have to face it off. I'll face it off a little bit, get to the right size. But the hard part is figuring out which pressure angle this was. That was a little bit tough, but so 20 PA worked perfect on this. It's going to be perfect. Feels real good. Just right. Yeah. So I got the gear finally. So now I need to make shaft. I'll do that this week. Get that out of the way. I'll film it, I guess. I've already done the filming one time on doing it, but maybe I'll do it a little different or something. I don't know. But I'll film that. Richard Gregory. Hey, Richard, how you doing? Yeah, no problem on the box. Hey, Eric, 6 by 1 1/4. Yeah, that'd be fine. That'd be perfect. 1 1/2 would work. 1 inch would work. Anything above 1 inch, 1 to 1 1/2, whatever. That would be fine. But it's the diameter thing, 6 inch steel, some kind of steel. Yeah. So we have that this week to do. There's a bunch of other stuff. I have to make some dovetail cutters maybe this week. I have to do that. Dennis, how was the turkey? Turkey was absolutely delicious. My wife barbecued it. It wasn't a real big turkey, but she barbecued the thing really slow, and the meat just fell off the bone. It was like, it was awesome. Where did the gear come from? Your modding. Oh, changing. Okay, so the gear. I bought it through actually through Amazon. It's a metrics, a metrics, M metric. Yeah, I'm gonna say I think it's made in China. You know, but it's a steel gear. Yeah, M metric, a metric is really how it is. Yeah, made in China, it says right here. But I bought it on Amazon, and they had the best pricing. I actually bought a 14 pressure angle one too, just to make sure, because okay, so, you know, I've made gears, I don't, you know, I don't have the stuff to measure what the pressure angle is on the gear itself. That is something that's really hard. So I bought a 14.5 degree gear also, but the gear is narrower. I could have, but you know what? And it kind of, you end up feeling a little bit of kind of binding and stuff. So I was able to get a 20 degree one also, and that one fits just fine. And the gear tooth size is right and things like that. And I measured this, you know, with a gear tooth gauge and all that stuff. So yeah, it's 20. But that's where I got it from, off of Amazon. It was if you want to know exactly, it was 20S1614. So 20 was the pressure angle, the 16 is the diametral pitch, and 14 is the number of teeth. And yeah. So that's where I got. But like I said, I have to bore it. It's a weird size, and the hub and part ends up being really quite thin, just like this one. So, but it should be enough to still be able to get a pin in to hold it in place. So, anyway, what else we got here? Are thicker at the bottom of the tooth form. Yeah. You know, but the difference between, I measured the 14 degree one, Dennis, and the 20, and we're talking like just a few thousandths difference is all it was. It wasn't much. Yeah, you could tell the difference. Let's see, I got to figure out where that gear is. I'll grab it. No, I won't grab it. I don't know where I put it now. You know. Announcement on the giveaway thing. I have everybody's things are all packaged up. Everybody's been contacted. All the postages on everything goes out to Monday morning. Well, not Monday morning, but Monday afternoon when the mail comes. And all that stuff will go out. Just so Richard Gregory knows. David Harrison over in the UK. Hi, if you're still here, how you doing? Yeah. I don't know. Just I haven't looked into it, but is there other than the base of the root of the gear is bigger? Is there any other gauges that you could get to be able to measure the pressure angle? That's I have to look into that, or if has anybody ever looked into that before. I mean, I have a gear tooth. I have a gear tooth, mic type thing, right? And I tell you, we're talking hardly anything. I don't even know if it was a couple thousandths difference, if anything. Because, you know, this, when you measure this, you're not measuring the root of the tooth. You know, you're measuring across the fat part of the tooth. But I mean, you're measuring, it's supposed to be a diametral pitch is where you're measuring that. Anyway. Oh, thank you, Dennis. I would appreciate that. I can always use that stuff. You know, Dennis, I use Niagara cutters for my, you know, dovetail cutters. That's all I use, and they last the longest. They're the sharpest. They're the best, and so I use them on most everything now. Just about. It's just they're great. Kind of like a radius gauge for gears. Oh, okay. I mean, what else do I have? I mean, I have one of, you know, the... Where are they? I'll be right back. Okay. Yeah. So I got one of Bruce's gear things. Now this is a 20 PA gauge, right? And you know, this is there's 16 right there, and you know, this is how I first checked the gear. You know, and boy, you know, 20 PA. Well, it goes pretty. You know, it fits in there pretty smooth, and there's clearance at the bottom and all that stuff, and sure, you know, fits are actually probably the best. And but I also have, you know, some of these. These are Boston Gear ones, and let's see if I find the right one here. So this is a 16, and you know, one side is 14 and a half, and one side's so this side's 14 and a half, this side's 20, and you can see the difference in the root size of the gear, of course. And I mean, you know, this is, I mean, that feels absolutely perfect. Working that. We're 14. You can feel it a little bit. It wants to grab a tiny bit. You know, where the 20 does feel right, I should say. But it's such a small difference. That's why I picked up one of each gear to make sure. They weren't that expensive of gears. I'm trying to remember. $20. I don't have a receipt here, but they weren't too expensive. But they'll work for the purpose that these are. These don't need to be a $50 gear. There's no need. And I'm sure that Clausing didn't use a $50 gear. Heck, you can see here where Clausing turned down the teeth off the gear. These teeth went clear out to the end. I don't know if you can see the marks on there, but Clausing turned them down. So, yeah. I mean, I guess I have enough tools to do it. Yeah, you gotta wait. I could only. Yeah, the live feed thing. It's a little bit different. You drop something, you drop it. You know, you don't get to cut that out. You know, that sort of thing. Yeah, it keeps trying to snow out here. That's a bummer. I was hoping for rain. It will melt all the snow. I didn't want to plow, but I ended up having to plow. So the gear gauge that has 14 and a half one side and 20 on the other. Well, that's what I just held up. That's what these are, right? That's what these are. These are Boston Gear gauges right here. You know, I mean, I got this off of eBay. I think I got lucky and I got it pretty cheap. But man, these things aren't cheap. I don't know. You know, I actually might be missing a couple in this set. There might be a couple missing in there. But yeah, these are pretty handy actually. And then get this from Bruce. This is actually very well made. You know, it's actually very well made. I think it was water jet cut. Yeah, I think it was water jet cut. Yeah. And it goes from 4 to 32. You know, get her out at 20. And this is, like I said, this is a 20 PA gauge. I mean, and this, if you file this down a little bit on the metal, I think that maybe he changed them on the newer ones. This is a very original one. If you file this down here, it's a bottle opener. If you're so inclined. Picked up on Amazon. Yeah, they got a lot. They got a lot of gears there, a lot of options there. Oh, they make the gear in 6 or 8 inch lengths. Oh yeah, part them off to size. Yeah, because like I said, they actually turn the teeth off of there. Yeah, having to get one with the right hub diameter or big enough on the hub was tough. It'll be really thin. It's gonna be close. 22 gauge, have more space at the root of the form of 140 as opposed to the space against the 22th. Yeah. Old Iron Shops. Hey, how you doing, Old Iron Shops? That's Chris. Fusion 360. Yeah, they keep changing stuff in Fusion, and their interface is a bit different now, which is I think it's maybe a little better than it was. So I should do something. I'm going to go and show at least the modeling of a project I'm working on making right now. It's going to be the welding table tilting piece, but also I'm going to show the bearing that I'm finalizing the design on now for the cement mixer. I haven't made that yet, and it's been a process to figure out exactly what I can do and how I'm doing it and all that stuff on the bearing thing. I have my materials for that, so I want to get going on making the bearings for the cement mixer yoke. I don't know if I'll do a series thing, but I could easily do a series thing. It's not too big a deal to do. I don't know if I ever show that. I always draw this glazing shaft here. I've been asked for a few things on Fusion. It's just that the time is so consuming, you might say. If somebody has a small project or an idea, I would be happy to probably do that if it's not too big of a deal. It's very. I mean, it's time consuming and to do all that. But so Gary, toss me an idea. Oh, Chris is sick. Yeah, I got this cold from my wife, and I'm really I'm just about done here. This morning, just a little bit of a runny nose, a little bit, but not too bad. So I'm pretty much done with it. It takes a couple weeks. It seems like that's what it took her. That's what's gonna take me. It didn't slow me down much. It's just pain, having a runny nose and cough a little bit. Do more on Fusion, huh? Okay, Joseph. Well, toss me an idea out there, and maybe I could do that. I know I could. It's just, especially during winter time, I have a lot of time in the shop. I'm not going to be doing much outside, so we have a lot of burning to do. We have a huge burn pile to light out for. We're just waiting for them to declare a burn day, which I don't see why they haven't. not with 2 feet of snow on the ground. But yeah, we're going to be cutting down some trees. We're going to cut some trees down. We're going to thin out the forest a little bit. So we need to be outside working to prove their worth. Change the toolbar in Excel and cause me to waste 30 minutes trying to find out. Yeah, I know. No, I think you're always improving things. I've done quite a few database where I designed entire databases for work on the ships, and when I did the planned maintenance project, and even for myself, even I keep track of a database of all the maintenance for all my vehicles, engines, tractor, generators, and things like that. I keep track of all that stuff, all the maintenance, and I use a database I designed. And I have a database for all the dovetail cutters and scribes that I've sold. Everybody's names and the addresses and stuff like that, and what tools they bought. Now, that is not shared with anybody. It's not on the internet. It's not anywhere. No one can get that information. It's all just local here with me. So, but and I go back and I tweak things and I change things, make it better and improve things. Once you get a working model going, it's you're always going to be doing improvements and stuff. Hi, Michael. How you doing? Hope you're feeling good. What's this? Dilly Dally, oh boy, Dalco machine. Dilly Dally Dalco machine. Okay, and welding. So Dilly, where are you at? Dilly Dally Dalco machine and welding. I don't know if I've seen your name before. Oh, Eric, it said something about 836. Yeah, 836 is fine if you're still there, Gary. Gary, you're up in North Dakota? Oh, wow. Yeah, like I said, we got 2 feet of snow on. I did have the camera over there a second ago. There you go. That's outside right now. Well, it's 22 this morning. There's down there at the house. I have over a foot of snow on the. Oops. I have over a foot of snow on the shop right now. Well, you're tracking my purchase history? Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I got it all. If you bought it from me, I've got your number. I know the serial numbers of the tools that you got and everything. So if you sell them on eBay, I know. Oh, Pueblo, West Colorado. Okay, well not too bad of weather there, maybe, huh? Is it kind of warm there in Pueblo? Well, I said, yeah, Chris, we got 2 feet on the ground. I don't know. There was a fire a week ago in Santa Barbara, or a week and a half ago. Good sized fire in Santa Barbara. So I imagine that the rain is getting that done. The outfit my son works for, one of their helicopters was heading home for the winter, and they got sent over to Santa Barbara on their way to fight that fire. They're done with their fire. The fire contract is done. So now, when the state hires them, boy, they pay through the nose. It's expensive anyway, but they really pay. When it's off season, they have to hire them to fight fires. Oh yeah, they're a small company, but they do well. They do well. They get. I'm sure the operating costs are huge, but they do pretty good. Active atom got snow. Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. Down there in the desert. Oh, Mark, you're over there in Santa Barbara? So they must have, they got that out. Yeah. I didn't know you were over there. Yeah, that fire went from, just what, like 300 or 400 acres? Went in the evening, and the next day it was 4,000. 44 today. Yeah, well, it's nice and warm there, huh, Dilly? Dilly Dally Dalco Machine and Welding. That's a mouthful. You're signing off? What, do you got stuff to do? Yeah, you'll have to watch it later there. Brought home lunch. You got to eat. Oh man. Yeah, it's like time to I have to go make coffee for my wife. Yeah, I try to make her coffee if she's home here. So. Oh, Journeyman Randy, you get snow tomorrow up there in Alberta. No, Quebec. I'm sorry, you're in Quebec. Oh, you're down in Ventura County, so that's a little bit below there. Yeah. Talk to you later there, Dennis. Thank you very much. And if you're sending me some cutters, that'd be just fantastic. Thank you. Talk to you later, Jim. Yeah, I'm ready to sign off here and go make coffee. Have some lunch. All right, you guys. I appreciate you all stopping in and checking out on the live feed thing. And I want to do a live feed. Let me know what you guys think, in the comment section of the video or something. But I want to do a live feed like on threading on the lathe and be able to talk to people that have problems threading and that sort of thing, or do a specific video on a live video that would do it on parting and threading. And those are two big things that people have a lot of problems with, and you really shouldn't have a lot of problems with. My wife is chiming in. That's her, Julie Richard. You see, I see her. She's waiting patiently. She's actually watching my video. I don't believe it. I love you, dear. Eric, that would work. I can plug the hole because I'm going to put a pin through the middle anyway, but not that big. But I could put a plug in that hole if you had something like that. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, 1 inch hole. I have some material here. I could make a plug for it. Yeah, I know, Mike. I didn't really have any content stuff filmed for the weekend here, so I go, and everybody wanted to see what was in the toolbox, and I go, well, I'll do a live feed. So boom, boom, bang, up on the live feed. Thank you, Dilly Dally there. Thank you for that. Speak the comments. Oh, that would be nice. I don't know if I could do that, Vernon. I'm not familiar if I could do that. I have no speakers on this computer either. I'd have to get some speakers or something. Thank you, Old Ironworks. Like to see the parting live feed. Yeah, Gary. I think those two subjects, the threading and the parting, where you could actually interact with people and give me some feedback of what they've had problems with, and maybe I could show some things of what you could do, or some of the finer points about it, things like that. I think that could be really helpful. Quick and easy video. Yeah, yeah, I don't know about easy. I mean, I try to get things set up. I had the 2-camera thing going, and I have the single cameras, and then oh, this other stuff. It's a little bit of a setup, and I could always go, do camera here, this on here. You can switch around and all that stuff. It's a pretty good little system setup, really. Hi, I'll go for Ryan. How you doing? Yeah, you're a little late there, Ryan. You'll have to watch the replay. Yeah, I want to figure out how to change the font on this comment thing. It is so unbelievably tiny on here, what I have to read. And, man, I just don't know how to change it yet. I haven't figured it out. That sort of thing. Oh, I can go to YouTube live feed. Oh, that might be different. I don't know. Now I see what you guys kind of see. Now, do you guys like it with the chat showing up on the screen like this? Beside the video. That's oops. There we go. Change this angle a little bit. I don't know. Do you guys do you like seeing the chat thing on the side? It seems to work. Yeah, there we go. Now I can. Oh, I just learned something, so I can see the chats a little better here by going actually to YouTube itself, and I can see it. There we go. Oh, now I could actually, see, the moderator thing. You can like I could there. Vernon, I just made Vernon a moderator. Yeah. Oh yeah. See, you don't have to. You like it. You don't have to scroll down. Gary likes to chat, yeah. Harder to read in color. Oh, Mike, you have, okay, so, yeah, red is probably bad choice, okay, for, anybody who has eye issues, red's bad. Okay. You usually read the normal feed, right, okay, yeah. Yeah, I need to get that. I didn't realize it was going to be all red quite like that, so I'll change the color. Who me? Yeah, you. You're now a moderator. You get a little wrench by your name, and I don't know what that means, but you can moderate. You can answer comments or something. I guess I don't know. Vernon, I made you a moderator because you're somebody I could trust. How's that? Tom, you like it on the side, yeah. Yeah, I can't. I don't have any speakers on the old computer, so I can't have something come back. Matter of fact, I can't even hear anything on headsets. Let's see. YouTube, I would agree with you there, Bill, Heather, Bill, thank you for chiming in there, and I would agree, the screen thing has a bit of delay. But there's a delay also in the picture. Anyway, there's a, I thought I had it reduced pretty low, but there is a little bit of a delay. Maybe that's the lag you see. It's the same delay as the video. Yeah, and but I like the larger font on the screen one. Having the larger font, I should figure out and get the delay shorter. I have the delay is a lot of it because of the internet, and I have pretty good internet. And next year they're putting in fiber optics all the way to the house. They're working their way down the street now, or they've been working on it, and they came by a month or a month and a half ago, and with the engineer, and we planned where they need to run the cable and how they're going to run it, where they're going to run it to, and all that stuff. So the next year we'll have fiber optics right to the house, so that things should get way better then. Now the link, the bridge type of link that I'm using, the radio, with the antennas and stuff, works superb. Once I set it up, I've had not an issue with it at all, not one issue, and it works unbelievably awesome. And it's very fast, and that's what's allowing me to do this live feed stuff now. It works really good. I have great internet now here in the shop. We'll see you later, Chris. Take it easy. Okay. Well, you guys, I gotta go and make some coffee, have some lunch, and then I'm gonna come back here and work on projects in the shop here. There's a lot of parts I need to make, and finalize the plans for the lead screw here for the clothing and a few other things. So lots of stuff to do. All right, you guys, I do appreciate you stopping in, and I really appreciate it. So hey, pick up a sweatshirt. These you guys. I'm not kidding. These are pretty nice. They're nice, and they're not super heavy and hot, and very comfortable. And they got a hood. They don't have a zipper or anything, but fits great. Mine's large and it fits me perfect. So, or pick a long sleeve T-shirt. I haven't got one of those yet, but I'm going to. So, thank you guys, and thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.